If you've ever been somebody who's been afraid to open your email inbox because you don't know what scary things might be lurking for you in there, then you'll definitely want to watch this video. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to properly manage your email inbox. In case you are new here, my name is Ciara. I'm a 4th or final year PhD student based in Dublin, Ireland, and on this channel I share all things to do with being productive while doing a PhD as somebody who has 4 jobs while doing a PhD, including lecturing, running a speech and drama school in Ireland, and also this YouTube channel. So if you like that type of content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. I used to be somebody who often was very frightened of going into my email inbox because I always thought there would be some scary reminder of something that I had forgotten to do in there. And to be honest, a lot of the time there was something like that I'd forgotten to do, just waiting for me there, which meant trying to even look at any of the new emails coming in was just a nightmare. I've since learned a system of stress-free email inbox management, which has really helped my email inbox become a much safer space for me to enter. Managing your email inbox might be something that's completely new to you if you're somebody that doesn't do anything with your incoming emails apart from opening them, maybe replying to the ones that you need to reply to, and then just leaving all of those emails sitting there. If you do that, you're probably the majority of people, but that is a really inefficient way of handling your emails. Why? Well, there will be different types of emails that enter your inbox. Some will be reminders of things that you need to do, and those are the ones that you definitely don't want to get lost in between lots and lots of spam. Especially if you're somebody who gets a lot of emails every day, you might find that it gets pushed down further and further, so you don't really see it when you go into your inbox. If you miss out on those important emails, that can be a real problem. But even when you just have those important emails in your inbox, it's not always clear from just the email being there itself what exactly you need to do or when you need to do it by. So just leaving those sitting in your email inbox is not the best place for them. Instead, you're better off processing them and putting them somewhere that you will actually look at and actually know what it is you need to do and by when you need to do that. So in processing emails, the first thing that you want to understand is, what is it? Is it a junk email that you've gotten from some mailing list that you're on that has no real value or no action that you need to take? A lot of the time, those are emails you don't even really want to keep unless there maybe is a discount code or something that you really think you're going to use. Then there's emails that might contain important information like a password or an agenda or a hotel stay receipt coming up. So you don't want to lose those, but you also don't necessarily want them in your inbox as something that you think you need to do something about. Then there are emails that you need to reply to. And that could be something relatively simple, like they're asking you a question, or it's maybe something that you want to weigh in with your opinion on. And finally, there'll be emails that remind you of an action that you need to take. So again, having all of these just sitting in our inbox will be a very inefficient way to manage our email inbox. If we just have these reminders of big tasks sitting in our inbox, then every time you open your email inbox, you will have that rush of anxiety about needing to do that task, even though you might be not in a position to do that task. And so your focus is being completely pulled away from the work that you actually should be doing. So what can we do? The first thing is to define what our email inbox should be. It's probably something you've never thought about before because it's just there. All of our emails just tend to come in there and tend to sit there, and that is what we do by default. Sometimes it helps to define things based on what our email inbox isn't. So firstly, our email inbox is not a garbage can. This isn't too surprising, but any emails that you don't want or need, delete. Any subscriptions that you're not opening, unsubscribe. There is some crazy fact, let me see if I can find it, about emails and how much energy it takes. So the average email usage is equivalent to about 128 miles driving in a small petrol car. And that's because of a lot of the spam that we get. It all adds up to a bigger carbon footprint. So definitely try your best to only subscribe to the news services that you actually want and unsubscribe from anything that you don't want anymore. Secondly, our email inbox is not an information storage system. If there is something that you think you might need, don't keep it in your inbox. Because if you have loads of them, you might miss those important emails, but also it will make it difficult to find them when you actually need them. If the email contains reference material, so things, important information that you might want, you can label your email with whatever you might want. So it could be even a subsystem of project notes and specific labels. It could be something like passwords or how to do X. You can label it with whatever you want, and then you can archive the email. When you archive an email, it doesn't delete it, it just removes it from your inbox. When you search for the person's email who sent it to you again, you will be able to find the email. But with the labels, you can always go into the label and you will see all of those emails, whether they're archived or not. Something to consider, but maybe is a topic for a bigger video, is does it make sense that this is kept in your emails at all? So if it's something like a password that you will need regularly enough, does it make sense to keep this on a tag in your email, or does it make more sense to keep it somewhere that you will check more regularly? Same way if there are project notes, does it make sense to keep these in your email, or should these be tracked in maybe a bigger information system somewhere like your Notion? So you can consider if there's vital information, you might want to transfer that into your file system and then delete it altogether, rather than having all of these, notes. Typically the labels that I keep are for correspondences that I want to keep track of. For example, when we have receipts for people who've signed up for given services, those are usually handy to have in our emails still. A future video of mine will be talking about effective information storage, but the most simple idea is that you don't want to basically keep these in your email inbox. So for now, what I would recommend doing is labeling things that you think you want to keep and then archiving everything else. But remembering that as long as you know who sent you this, you will be able to find it, or as long as you know what word it is that you're looking for, you'll be able to find that email, because the search function on Gmail at least is very good. Our email inbox is also not there to remind us to follow up on things. Again, Gmail is doing quite a good job these days of helping you with following up on things, because it will tell you when you've sent an email a couple of days ago or that you've not replied to something after a couple of days. But most of the time I find these a little bit annoying because they typically come up when I don't want them to. It might say, oh, you sent this email 3 days ago and I don't want to follow up just yet. I want to leave it maybe 7 days before following up. I'm sure there is a way to customize this, but basically keeping all of these emails in our inbox in which you're waiting for a response isn't the best thing to do. It's not very effective, because if you haven't made a decision about how long you want to wait before a person responds, then eventually you'll just leave that sitting there, and what I end up having is that it ends up getting to be too late to follow up on that, so I just end up archiving it anyways. So if you haven't made that decision about when to follow up, then having the email there really won't help you. It might just cause a bit of stress every time you see it and realize that the person still hasn't replied. If the response isn't something you're necessarily needing, then you can just archive that email. Maybe that person just won't respond to you, and if that's something that you don't really care about, then that's fine. If you are definitely waiting for a response, then you can decide a date by which you need a response, or else you'll follow up on it. And what you can do is you can snooze the email until that date. So Gmail has a handy function that you can click and press snooze and put in a particular date. Then on the day it will pop back up in your email inbox, and you can reprocess that and have that decision of, am I going to send a follow-up email, or is it maybe something I don't necessarily need to follow up on anymore, and you can just get rid of the email. Lastly, your email inbox is not a to-do list. If an email contains something like a task that you need to do, for example, if it's telling you to update graphs for a paper, then this task shouldn't just sit in your email inbox. It should go onto a dedicated task list. Something that you check consistently so that you know when you are in the right context to do that task. So for example, next time you're at your desk with at least 2 hours free, you can work on that. Otherwise, it'll just be in your email inbox sitting there, so that every time you check your emails, let's say if I'm out for a walk doing a quick check on my emails, I'll see that and I'll be like, oh god, I need to do that, but I can't do it right now because I'm out for a walk. Then I find I can't really reply to the shorter, easy to answer emails that I have sitting there, because I'm now feeling stressed about this task. So what I typically do now is I will just reply to the person saying, yeah, I will do that. Then I put the item on my task list, and then I can archive the email. So I can tag it if I need to, but typically I won't, because I will just have it on my task list and then do it when I need to do it. If we're archiving pretty much a large majority of our emails, what should be in our email inbox. That is only the emails that need to be processed. So by processed, I mean deciding what the item is and putting it in the right place. So if this email is trash, delete it, or if it's trash that you kind of want to keep, archive it. If it is reference material, label it or put it into your file system and archive it. Or it might be associated with some sort of action. There'll be a number of ways that this comes up. So if the email requires a response, you can respond. Typically, we would say when you're processing stuff, if it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. If it takes longer than 2 minutes, a lot of the time that's because you need more information that you don't have. So you can add that to your task list if there is something that you need to actually gather for this particular email. If you want to keep track of whether the person has responded, then you can snooze it and then archive it. Otherwise, you can just archive it if you don't really care about their response. If it's a calendar item, you can reply if necessary, add it to your calendar, and then archive it. So for example, if it's something about meeting at 10 a.m. for coffee on a certain date, don't just leave that in your email inbox as something to remind you of that, but put it on your calendar and then archive it. If you're using your calendar consistently, then you shouldn't need to worry about it being in your email inbox, because you will forget something if it's just sitting there. If it's a task that you need to do, reply if necessary and add it to your next actions list or task list and then archive it. And for both the calendar items and task lists and the information systems, you'll need to be effectively using a calendar and a task list and an information system, which I'll be discussing in videos very soon. This is something that you kind of need to build in as a habit, that these are places that you're checking regularly and updating regularly so that these are efficient. But overall, I've found that using this system has been so much more effective for organizing how I respond to emails. When all of this processing takes place, essentially all of these emails should end up either archived or snoozed or deleted, and you should end up with inbox zero, so nothing left in your email inbox, because your inbox should just be the incoming things that now need to be processed. As emails continue to come through, you can process those and continue getting your in to empty. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see those future videos about proper task list management, proper calendar management, information system management, then definitely be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a video. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to all of my wonderful members as always, and I will see you in the next video.